Welcome, everybody. It is another cold Monday here in the villages, but that's okay because we're inside and we're playing beautiful music. We are in book number 274, and today's song is another romantic song, and it's called Isn't It Romantic? Okay, so you know I always try to look up new things for you, and I don't know if any of you used to get this old sheet music magazine stuff. Well, one of our customers gave me a whole bunch of them, so I use them. And you can
Wow.
see this guy right here is Maurice Chevalier, and he was one of the singers of this song. And it shows up right here. And he sang this with Jeanette MacDonald, and Maurice Chevalier did this in a musical. There they are. Maybe that'll bring back some memories of something that your grandparents used to watch. Um, because this is 1932. Wow. Yeah, this is something your grandparents had to watch. It is impossible to declare any one song from the vast Rodgers and Hart catalog their greatest standard, yet somehow this tune comes pretty close. Since its 1932 Chevalier debut, it has inspired both a film, 1948, and a Broadway show, 1985, that have taken the title as its own. Originally, it was from a Paramount picture called Love Me Tonight. You may also have heard John Lund whistle the infectious melody to Marlene Dietrich in 1948's A Foreign Affair. So yeah, it's been used quite all over the place. And if I show you the music that I actually got it from,
Mm.
yeah, it's got three flats in the front of it. So yeah, I had to do some transposing.
What
But
what volume of sheet music is it? What volume?
um, it is May June 1994.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. And there's actually two different versions in here. So I took the introduction from one of the versions and wrote it out. I transposed it and wrote it out for you. The only thing I did not do is give you the lyrics because there just wasn't enough room on the paper to do that. It would have been super messy and you wouldn't have been able to read the notes. But the lyrics at the intro say, I've never met you, yet never doubt, dear. I can't forget you. I've thought you out, dear. I know your profile and I know the way you kiss. Ooh, I wonder how. Just the thing I miss on a night like this. If dreams are made of imagination, I'm not afraid of my own creation. With all my heart is here for you to take. Why should I quake? I'm not awake. Isn't it romantic? Yeah. And then there's actually two verses to the intro. So you could actually go back in and play that whole thing again. My face is glowing. I'm energetic. The art of sewing I found poetic. My needle punctuates the rhythm of romance. I don't give a stitch. I don't give a stitch. I've never read this before. If I don't get rich, a custom tailor who has no custom is like a sailor. No one will trust him. But there is magic in the music of my shears. My shears. I shed no tears. Lend me your ears. Isn't it romantic? Okay, so I'm thinking that that comes from the picture Love Me Tonight. One of them must have been a seamstress. Okay, so that's what I'm guessing. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But it was written for that film, so it had to actually be something that went along with that. So I'm just going to play this, and when I actually listened to it, I listened to the Ella Fitzgerald version. And oh boy, it seemed like almost every version I listened to was slow and crooning and just
Mhm.
really, really pretty. Um,
Sure.
in 1932, Harold Stern's orchestra did it with Bill Smith on vocals. Tony Bennett is also another one who did a beautiful version of this. So my very first thought that came to my head was dinner and dance. Yeah, so if you've got dinner and dance, this is the first one that I tried it on at 75 beats a minute. but there's all so many different variations that you could do on this. Duke's Blues was beautiful. Strings 101 is my go-to. Smoky Strings, Johnny Chances. There's all kinds of really pretty slower backgrounds that are going to come out absolutely beautiful on this. So do not be afraid to find the one that makes you feel like playing this. Did I add some extra chords? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So I'm going to add the introduction. Here we go. All right, I know I'm not there yet. That's just
It's
a
very,
beautiful song.
very,
Yeah.
very.
And if you read the lyrics, yeah, it went along with the movie, I'm sure. But yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous song. All right.
Mhm.
Sometimes you can't beat the old 30s and 40s classics. Get your colors out because we do have a little bit of a roadmap, and it's not so bad, except for the fact that your first ending is super long. Super long. So the hardest part is knowing where do you go to get to the second ending. That's the hardest part. So you follow your lyrics. Your first ending starts at the bottom of the first page. And then it goes to line 1 of page 145. That's what that line all the way across the top means. And the second line, the line goes all the way across to the end of line 2. And so then you're going to make that a color because you have 2 repeat dots, 2 dots, a thin line and a thick line. And it's taking you back to the beginning of the song where you have a thick line, a thin line, and 2 repeat dots that face forwards. Your repeat dots are always on a measure line, never in the middle of a measure. And that's why you have pickup notes not only at the beginning of the song, but at the end of the first ending. So you don't want to go all the way back to the very beginning. You want to use those pickup notes and then go back to the dots. Here's the tricky part. Where do you go for the second ending? So you play all of line 2, line 3, the first 2 measures of line 4, and right before you get to the first ending, you're going to put a little colorful 2. And where's it going? Line 3 of the second page. So you might want to just put an arrow so that you know exactly where you're going the second time. And then you finish up the song. So the colors just make it easier for us to say, okay, second time going from there to there. And
Could you
it
repeat
does.
that, please, Dawn?
Pardon?
Could you repeat that second ending?
Second ending
Line?
starts on it and let's do this again. Line 4 of page 144, the first 2 measures. What I did is put a little colorful 2 right before you get to the first ending. And then I put an arrow to where the second ending starts, which is at the beginning of line 3 on the second page.
145. Thank you very much.
Okay, and then just finish the song. All right.
Thank you.
Lots of chords I added. Not too many, I guess. There's plenty of them already there. But I did add some to just make it sound a little nicer. And yeah, I've got a whole bunch of them on that first page because that whole first page is long. See?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I wrote that. I had to transpose everything. So
Wow.
yeah, but it's beautiful. I mean, it absolutely is gorgeous. I just did not have any room to write in the lyrics because it's like, wow, if I put those in, you guys won't know what a chord is or what the lyric is.
Right.
So if you need the lyrics, you're I guess I can scan them to you if you want them, but they're beautiful. They really
They're
are.
beautiful words. Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's do some extra chords. Get your pencils out. Line 1, the F chord is fine. The C7 chord is good for 2 counts. Beat 3, over the F for the word night, put a B flat, butterfly flat for 1 note. Beat 4, over the G, go back to a C or a C7, chicken 7. Second line, the F chord is good for 2 counts. Make the C a C augmented, and it can be a C augmented 7 if you wish. Okay, the augmented rule is the letter plus 4 plus 4 more. So a C augmented is C, E, and G sharp. Chickens, elephants, and sharp gorillas. And then if you want to add the 7, it's the B flat. That's just a pretty chord. The F, the C7, and the F are fine on line 2. Let's go to the third line. The C7 is good for 2 counts. Beat 3 over the F, put a B flat, butterfly flat. Beat 4 over the G, go back to the C or the C7.
Dawn, I'm sorry, I don't mean
Yes.
to interrupt. On that, the F over the old, that is, are you changing that F to a B flat?
No. That's the first measure. The first measure,
Is a C or C7?
C7 for 2 counts.
Oh, for
Beat
2 counts. I'm sorry.
3 over
Yeah.
the F for the word right.
Right, I got it.
That's where
Thanks.
the B flat goes.
Okay,
And
thanks.
then
I
over
was
the G for the word that's where the C7 goes.
Right, thanks.
Okay, then your F is fine in the second measure for 2 counts. Beat 3 over the C, the dotted quarter note for the word for magic. Put an A minor, alligator minor. The last measure of that line, you have a D or a D7. You can make it a D augmented or a D augmented 7. All right, remember the rules. It's the letter plus 4 plus 4. Did I say plus 3 last time? That's wrong. It's plus 4 plus 4.
You said plus 4 plus 4.
It is 4 plus 4. Yep. Okay. I just couldn't remember if I said it right or I said it wrong. It's the letter plus 4 more. So a D augmented is D, dinosaur, F sharp, sharp fish, and A sharp or B flat, whichever one you read the best. And then if you want to add the 7, it is the C, and you can put the 7 on top or bottom, doesn't matter. And that's good for 2 counts. Beat 3 of that measure, resolve it with a plain old D or D7. So you're going from the augmented to the 7. Let's add some.
D7?
D7, dinosaur 7, yes. The next line, the first 2 measures, no changes. Woohoo! First ending, the D minor is good for 2 counts. Beat 3, cross out the A and change it to a C sharp augmented. C sharp augmented, which is C sharp plus 4 is F fish plus 4 more is A alligator. Now what's cool about augmented chords is there are 3 chords that are actually the same, because if I take the C sharp and put it on the top, it's now an F augmented, same notes. And if I take the F and put that one on top, it's now an A augmented, with the A is just in the bass. That's the only difference. So that's why augmented chords are so cool, because it just depends on which note do you have going into the bass.
Dawn,
Yeah.
if you have an augmented chord and the rule is the letter plus 4 plus 4, and you want to make it a 7, then what do you choose?
A 7 is always the same. It's the letter minus 2.
Oh, okay.
Always. So you're just combining, like if it's the C sharp augmented, well, no, let's go back to the D on line 3. D augmented or D augmented 7. It's the D plus 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, F sharp, 1, 2, 3, 4, B flat, and then the 7 is always the letter, which is D, minus 2, so it's a C. So the C can either go top or bottom, does not matter.
Okay.
So yes, you still find a 7 the same way you always do. It's the letter minus 2, no matter what else you have. If it's a minor 7, you still have to do the letter minus 2.
Okay, thanks.
All right, let's keep moving. Top of the second page. D minor, F7, that's good. B flat, D7, that's good. G minor, that's good for 2 counts. All right, cross out the C and replace it with A minor, alligator minor for 1 count. And the last note, beat 4, C sharp diminished. Oh, okay. All right. So a C sharp diminished is the letter. The rule for diminished is the letter plus 6. Or if you're doing a diminished 7, it's the letter plus 3, plus 3, plus 3 more. Or you could do minus 2 and it comes out the same. But if you just do a C sharp diminished, it's C sharp, E as in elephant, and G as in gorilla. All right.
Could you repeat the letters, please?
Yes, C sharp, E, and G, or you could just play C sharp and G. That's what's cool about a diminished chord. You can just do the letter plus 6, and it's going to give you the same thing. C sharp and G is really all you need.
Thank
So
you.
going from an A minor to a C sharp diminished to a D minor is actually pretty easy. It's a nice little finger pattern. Line 2.
Dawn,
Yes.
that last chord on the top line, I had an E flat 7.
I changed it.
Okay,
Yeah. Now the E flat 7 is fine. You can actually substitute an E flat 7 for beats 3 and 4 if you want. That was my original. I must have found that someplace else.
yeah.
But this one I'm changing it. Why? Keeps you on your toes. That all that means is that there are several ways to arrange one song. And with something that's as classic as this, there's probably 100 different arrangements out there, and they probably all sound good. So I'm just giving you a few different things. And remember, if you learn one new chord, just one, you are 100% successful. And the more often you see them and the more often you play them, then the easier they get. Just like remember when you started learning what an A minor was, C and A, oh my. It seemed so hard until all of a sudden you saw an A minor and your hands just went there. It's the same with all of these extra chords too. The more you see them, the more your fingers go there, the easier they become. But you can always cheat and keep writing them in too. It's okay. Let's go to line 2. The D minor is good for 2 counts. The G in beat 3, you can make it a G7 or you can make it a G9. Ooh, that's a 4-fingered chord. You just take 4 fingers and slap them down. F, G, A, B. There it is. There's the G9. Or if you want to be, you can do any fingers you want. It's just easier to go like this and go boom. Always read in your window to make sure that you've got the right notes. So F, fish, G, gorilla, A, alligator, and B, butterfly, G9. The second measure of the second line, cross out the C minor and change it to a C diminished. C, D, I, M. What's the rule? The letter plus 6. Or if you wanted to do plus 3, you could do that too. What's the difference between a C minor and a C diminished? Not much. Here's a C minor, here's a C diminished. Wow, just makes it even more sinister. Okay, the C7 is perfect right where it is. Line 3, the second ending. The D minor is good for 2 counts. Beat 3 over the A for the word mean. Put in a D minor 7. D minor 7 is C, D, and F. Second measure. Over the D for the word I, put in a B minor 7 flat the 5th. It's a scary chord. No, it's a great chord. B minor 7 flat the 5th. The easiest way to play it is to play it B butterfly, D dinosaur, F fish, and A alligator. It's just a white note, skip a white note, a white note, skip a white note. That's to me, that's the easiest way to play it. Okay. Beat 3, instead of the G minor, cross him out, throw him away. We're going to replace him with a B flat minor. Butterfly flat minor, which is D flat and B flat. Flat dinosaurs and flat butterflies. So you're going from this to this. All right, third line, third measure. The F is good for 2 counts. Beat 3 over the C for chance. Put in a C diminished. C diminished. The letter plus 6 gives you C and F sharp. Or if you want to throw the E flat in there too, go ahead. And the last line, you're going to play the C7. And then I put a no chord right there, an NC, so that the Isn't It Romance. Those notes are just, it just makes it a little more, gives it a little more drama. And it just puts that little white space in there. And then the F chord is fine at the end, but you're going to add 2 more chords. You can add either an E flat 7 or a B flat minor, either one, pick one, and they both sound fine. And the last chord is an F6. And F6 is F, A, C, and D dinosaur. So it's either going to sound like this, F, E flat 7, F6, or it's going to sound F, B flat minor. They both sound fine. Two different arrangements. Pick the one you want.
Dawn, what was the last chord that you changed on line 3, page 2?
The last chord I changed was the last measure. I had an F chord for 2 counts, and then over the C for the word chance, put in a C diminished, chicken diminished.
Thank
Don't
you.
I have a question too?
Go ahead.
The last line, could you repeat after the C?
Yes, the
diminished?
C7 is good. It is good for 2 counts, but right after you play that C7, before you play Isn't It Romance, put in an NC, a no chord. No chord. So you're playing this. Then you're going to play the F.
Wow.
So the no
And
chord
then-
just gives it a little bit of a white space in there.
And after the F, you have a B flat minor and an F6.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome, Cheryl. Anybody else? That's basically it. You've just got the whole arrangement right there. Now, I also did it, like I said, on Duke's Blues was good, or 101 Strings, or Johnny Chances. They all work. They're going to give you, even a jazz club would be fine. They're all going to give you a little bit different version. But if you go to YouTube and listen, Ella Fitzgerald or Tony Bennett, they're really doing a crooning type of a background. So let's do 101 Strings. That's going to sound too much the same. Let's do Duke's Blues. And I'm not going to play the intro. I'm just going to play what's here on the page. Anything that's just going to keep it slow and sexy, and I'm at 75 beats a minute. Here's the strings 101, and that just gives you the full orchestra. Or here's Johnny Chances, whole different background. So you could do theater romance, just about anything, seriously. It's just such a beautiful song, but it's a crooning song. You really want to make it slow and slow dancing type music. Yeah, so that's why Dinner and Dance was the first one that came to my mind. Or-
Dawn,
Yeah.
I looked this song up, and no matter where I found it, it was an E flat.
Mm-hmm.
Is it that was the original?
That was the original E flat.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we could transpose to E flat if we wanted to hear.
You could if you wanted to. Some people don't even hear the difference. Now, why would they do it from E flat and in easy play do it in F? Why do you suppose?
I don't know. That was going to be my question.
Aha, good question. Well, because in the key of E flat, the key signature has, and they didn't, the key signature has 3 flats at the beginning of the song, which means
Mhm.
that every B is a B flat, every E is an E flat, and every A is a flat. Okay, so they don't put the flat signs in front of every note, but in Easy Play they do. Can you imagine if we had to put a flat in front of every B, E, and A?
Got it.
It would look
Yeah.
terrible. It would just look like, oh my God, it would look like a mess. So in
Mhm.
Easy Play, they put it up to the first key that's going to give you 1 black key or no black keys. Normally in Easy Play, we're going to have it in the key of C, no black keys, F, 1 black note, or G, which has 1 black note in the scale. Now you don't need to know any of the scales. You just need to play it what's here.
Okay.
And so that's why in Easy Play it got transposed. Now, why was it written in the key of E flat? Probably for the singer. Normally they would use a key that the singer could, so that the range of the singer would stay in the right spot.
Okay.
That's usually how they wrote things. And
Okay.
that's the only reasoning they had is, okay, who's singing this?
Thank you
Oh,
for explaining it.
yeah, yeah. So most of your Easy Play is going to be F, G, or C. And that's why they want to make it so that otherwise they'd have to be writing in all these flats in front of your notes, every single one of them. Yeah,
Trying to get back into things.
that makes it easy. Yep. Good question. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Nope. Well, guess what? That actually took 45 minutes. I expected 30 minutes. Because this song is just so nice, and it's a wonderful romantic song. It's a wonderful old crooning song, and yeah, it's a belly rubbing song. So if you ever want to put it on YouTube and grab your sweetie and just start dancing, that's why not? Why not? Because you can, especially when it's cold like this. That's a perfect thing to do. I will give you fingering. I do have the introduction that I did transpose so it matches out of E flat and into F, so it matches what we're doing here. So, yep, you'll get that if you want. I'll put it on Patreon. If you can't wait for Patreon, you know where to find me. And so, love you guys. And yes, Wednesday, 12:30, I will have an arrangement. I will have an arrangement of that song, and we're doing My Eyes Adored You by Frankie Valli. So if you want to join me for that, love to have you. And I can't do it without you, so I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. And the rest
Next
of
week, what
you,
are we doing?
Wednesday, we're
next week?
doing My Eyes Adored You. Frankie Valli.
Oh, my eyes adore you.
No, that's
That's-
Wednesday.
That's
next Monday.
Wednesday. Yes. Now,
How about next week?
Next week, we're doing the next song, which is
might as
I'm
well be
as
spring.
restless as a willow. Yeah, it might as well be spring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Song.
Two
Yep.
Richard Rogers songs in a row.
Yeah. And you know why? Because it just alphabetically happened that way. That's all. Very cool. Very cool. Yep. I can't do it without you. Thanks for coming. Stay warm. Stay inside and play music. Don't go to the beach today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dawn.
The rest
Thank
of
you.
you, get your pencils out and let's do some fingering.
Where did you find My Eyes Adored You?
It's in the 70s book that I do for
Okay.
Wednesday.
Wrong
My
book.
Wednesday class. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Fingering. And I don't have any on the introduction. That's just something you guys are going to have to figure out on your own if you take the introduction. So no worries. Here we go. E2, F3, D1, E2, F3, F3, E2, F3, D1, E2, F3, G1. You got to tuck your thumb under, so circle it. Second line, A2, A2, C4, C4, A2. Check mark if you wish. Then the E can be a 2, or you can make it a 1, either one. F3, D1, E2, F3, F3. third line, E2, F3, D1, E2, F3, G1. Circle it, that's a thumb tuck. A2, A2, C3, C3, E flat 5, D4, E5, D4, C3, B flat 2, A1, G2. That's a crossover, so circle the 2. That's your visual cue. It's a crossover. F1, F1, A3, A3. Let's go to the top of the second page. F1, D4. Watch that one. E5, D4, C3, B flat 2, A1, G2. Circle it. That is a crossover. Second line, F1, F1, D5, D5, E flat 1. Now, very rarely do we put our thumbs on the right hand on a black key, but in this case, there's no way around it, and it works very nicely. So that's an E flat 1. You might want to put a little check mark because that's where you might want to do a new sound or put your hand to an upper or lower keyboard. E2, F3, D1, E2. Those are your pickup notes to send you back to the beginning. Second ending, F1, F1, A2, A2, D3. That is a long stretch. You can do it. D3, D3, F4, F4, high G5. So you got to really do some stretching to get all the way up the line. F4, C2. Last line, E4, F5, D3, E4, and F5. Any questions? Pretty song. Very pretty song. Well, that's from a book called The 150 of the Most Beautiful Songs Ever, so I'm not surprised it's in here. All right, somebody put in a chat. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Sheet Music Magazine. They don't make these anymore, but I'll tell you what. I have gotten more good stuff from old sheet music magazines. Seriously, there's some beautiful things. If you can get a hold of any at a garage sale or anything like that, there's some beautiful, beautiful things in Sheet Music Magazine. Yep. So Mavis,
Dawn,
hopefully you held on to those.
Dawn, I'm sorry. Next week for It Might As Well Be Spring, which is a beautiful song, I will be on an airplane. So when I get to California, can I email you and then you'll send it to me and maybe I can print it out there?
Yes, ma'am. With pleasure.
Grandson's
With pleasure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You guys are awesome. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Have a beautiful day. Stay warm. Stay warm. Hope, and it will get warmer.
Thanks, Dawn.
You guys are
Thanks,
great.
Dawn.
Thank
You're
you.
great. Thank you.
Bye.